All right, so if you remember last time, we talked about a new type of variable called a collection, and more specifically, we covered a collection type called lists, where the variable can hold now more than one thing. Up to that point, we've been using variables that just hold one thing, and that's kind of how we've used variables in most other contexts in our life when we took algebra or other things. When we have x equals 10, x is always just like one thing. Now we can say that x is equal to a huge list of different numbers or strings or whatever. And each one of those, if you remember right, is indexed. So every index starts at 0, 1, 2, 3, and counts on until you reach the final item in the list. And that's how we access the items in the list. That's how we change an item in the list, change a value. That's how we remove a value. That's how we insert a value. And so those indexes are very important in lists. And that's how we organize a list. So for that reason, a list, the order of the items in the list has to stay the same all the time so that we know that item number 3 in that list is always going to be that same thing until we change it. So today we're going to add a couple of other collection types. I'm going to mostly talk about a collection type called dictionaries. Dictionaries are very, very useful. In some ways, I think they're even a little bit more useful than lists because rather than a numeric index, dictionaries use something called a key index. And a key index allows us, instead of having to remember that somebody's first name is stored in index number 0, we can use a key instead that just says first name. So I'll show you how that works. So dictionaries can look like either one of these two things in your code. These are exactly the same as far as Python is concerned. They're just two different ways of typing them that are equally valid. Now, how you decide which one to use will probably depend on what's in that dictionary. Because if you have a lot of items in the dictionary and you type it all in one line like this, it can get kind of confusing. If you just have a few, this works fine. If you have a lot of items or you really want to see what's what, the upper example might be preferable. So this is what a dictionary looks like. It's your first exposure to them. Now, you can see that there's a lot of stuff in here. And if you sort of think it through, you can probably kind of decipher what's going on here, right? So what is the value that goes with job? The value that goes with job. What is the person's job? Dev. They're a developer, right? What's their age? So you can kind of see what goes with what just by looking at it, which is kind of nice. And the way you can kind of think about this is now instead of just keeping track with 0, 1, 2, each of these slots for data has a label on it that allows you to easily access what's in that container, the container inside a container. Now, if you think about this, anybody familiar with what a bento box is? Seen those? They're very cool Japanese lunch boxes, basically. And in many places, it's considered sort of an artistic thing, right? You can look up really cool bento boxes online where people, cut the sandwiches and things into like Pokemon characters, and it's really cool. But the interesting thing about a bento box, and we use this example a lot in computer science because the interesting thing about a bento box is that it's got a lot of little partitions inside of it, right? Each little space has its own thing inside it, and it kind of keeps everything separate and unique. You can kind of think about it this way, right? It's one thing, it's one bento box, but it has little slots inside for different things that you can put in there. So dictionaries are in fact ordered, meaning that they generally speaking keep things in the same order. But we don't care anymore because we're not using an index. It doesn't matter if name is first or last on that list because I'm always going to refer to it using its label, which is name. The label also known as a key. Okay, it's a key. So we have key and value pairs here. It's key indexed, which means instead of a number 0, 1, 2, it uses keys to keep track of what's what. It is mutable, meaning we can change anything. We can change a value, we can remove a value, we can add values, all that stuff. And again, the values in a dictionary can be any type. The keys, 99.9% of the time, are going to be a string. So the keys are a string. The values can be anything. The values can even be a list or a dictionary. So think about that for a minute. Anybody like the movie Inception? This is sort of like that, right? We have a list inside a list.